PANRE or PANRE-LA? Okay, this is where I think people are getting burned. Okay, colleagues, John Belinsky here from CME for Life. Our whole goal is to help you maximize your mind, to really maximize as a PA how you optimize your learning, not just CME, but as colleagues, how are you recertifying? Here's the deal. We just did a PANRE review course, and we had a bunch of people who came in, specialty PAs, and like, oh man, I'm just going to do the sit-down test. And I'm like, why don't you do the PANRE-LA? Oh, I don't want to do it for 2 years. But hold on, guys. If you have the option to do the PANRE-LA, you should. You should. Now, I have absolutely no incentive to tell you to do this, other than I believe it's what's right for everybody. Let me tell you why. Now, the PANRE-LA, I'm actually doing it now. We have a study group every Thursday night, and we have a bunch of people who come on and we study together, and we talk about it. Now, first and foremost, understand that the PANRE-LA, everybody I talk to either love it or like it. No one's like, oh my gosh, this was the worst mistake I ever made. Nobody's like that. It's excellent. It's excellent. There are 25 questions per quarter for 2 years. Now, you're like, oh, I don't want to do this for 2 years. Hold on a second. It's not like it used to be. I promise you, it's just not like it used to be. The NCCPA really did something that I think is brilliant. They did 3 things to make recertifying way easier, and they did the PANRE-LA for you, for the specialty PA who's freaking out a little bit about not losing their license. So what are the 3 things that make the PANRE-LA fantastic? First and foremost, 25 questions per quarter, which you really have 3 years to do it. So if you have bad quarters and you fail and don't get a passing score, you have more time. So it's not like you fail. But when the high-risk test, the sit-down, it's a pass or fail. This gives you a lot of time to adjust. Okay, so the questions are distributed, and if you look at the recertification process as maybe an option to learn, an opportunity to learn, then you're going to do fantastic here. The people who do it, there's a little stress, but it's not like the sit-down test. Now, what are the 3 things the NCCPA did to really help us? Well, the PANRE-LA, I think, is the biggest thing, but that's not even what I was talking about. Number 1, they have clinical test writers, so these questions are pretty good questions, okay? They ask you questions, and if you get a question wrong, you immediately get remediation. They tell you, by the way, you got it wrong, and let me show you why. And that's really important that you study those missed questions, because the NCCPA are filtering those questions back to you later on. And if you get a question like wrong on the pharmacotherapeutics of heart failure, and then you read their data and their referrals, the references about why the answer was wrong, the next time you take that question, and if you get it right the second time, the first one doesn't count against you. What a brilliant thing from the NCCPA. So, number 1 is you get immediate remediation, and if it comes back, you don't get a ding. So the first thing is you use clinical test writers, so the questions are pretty good, and they give you this really great opportunity to learn. Number 2, the NCCPA shaved away about 100 diseases that are silly. PAs don't need to know them. Not practicing PAs, not my orthos and derms and aesthetics and neurosurgical. Okay, bottom line is you don't have to know polymyalgia rheumatica, so they made it so you don't have to study it. Thank you, NCCPA. They took away the academic stuff that, the students can study that academic stuff. We're not doing a PA challenge boards. We're practicing medicine. So they took away a bunch of the silly stuff, and the last thing they did was this, and this is very important for anybody who's studying for the PANRE or PANRE-LA. They have tiered content. John, what do you mean by that? Every single disease falls under one of 3 buckets. Number 1, I call it a red light disease. Red light disease, you got to know how to diagnose it. And if you think about it, what's our job as PAs? We're diagnosticians, okay? We got to diagnose things. We got to treat the common things and take care of them, but then the zebras, the weird stuff, the really lethal stuff, we better identify it and then get it to the right people. So I call it a red light. If it's a red light disease, you just got to know how to diagnose it. Now, if it's a yellow light disease, you got to know a basic intervention, like a sprained ankle. How do you diagnose it? Well, you do a physical exam and an x-ray. Beautiful. What's a first-line treatment? What's a basic intervention? Well, you put them in a splint and you give them some ibuprofen and you give them some crutches. Beautiful. Now, if it's a green light disease, you got to know everything. You got to know complex intervention. So diabetes, AFib, PE, acute coronary syndrome, hypercholesterolemia, cellulitis. It's the things that all PAs need to know. And I don't care if you're ortho, Okay, well, I don't treat AFib. Yeah, but you're going to have patients with AFib, and you're going to have your parents with AFib. These are common things. So, the 3 things NCCPA did to make our lives easier and to make recertification mature, a good learning experience is, number 1, clinical test writers, not academics. Number 2, they shaved away about 100 diseases that are silly. And number 3, they're basically saying, guys, you don't have to study diseases globally. You have to study them in a tiered way that's clinically relevant. So if you can do the PANRE LA, it's going to be very, very hard for you to fail it. And that's not my opinion. That's the opinion of the CEO of the NCCPA when her and I talked. So Dawn Martin-Riaz, she's a great leader of our profession. I have tremendous respect for her vision and her passion. And I had the privilege of meeting her and talking to her. And I just really respect the NCCPA, what they're doing. So if you have the opportunity to do the PANRE LA, you should do it. Okay? Now at See Me for Life, we got your back. We can help you study if you need that. Now, first and foremost, we have a review course. Excellent. People who come to it, the reviews are fantastic. It's highly engaging, entertaining, educational, sometimes funny. I'm funny dude. I'm a funny dude. Like, I have some really good dad jokes. And the people who don't laugh just says something about them. They're the people that you wouldn't want to work with anyway. So my jokes are very, very funny. We also have videos. We have a review book. We have a review book that it teaches you exactly what you need. So we have a review book called the PANRE Review Source, or our PANRE Study Guide. It's exactly what you need to know. It's based on the 2023 blueprint, where it's broken down just so you can't overstudy. If it's a red light, we only give you the information for red lights, how to diagnose it. If it's yellow light, we give you the more information. If it's green light, we give you everything. So it makes it very easy to use. One of the people who recently came to our board review course and does our Thursday night session said, John, I use Google searches and your review book, and I consistently get 24 out of 25 right. Cool. So if you're a specialty PA, I do individual coaching for the people who are really high risk and really freaking out, especially those taking the high stake exams. And I just had an aesthetics PA who struggled a couple times, who just took her boards and passed, and I knew she would. She really dialed her content in. John Blinsky, See Me for Life. Our whole goal is to help you maximize your mind. If you are a colleague and you want any help, please reach out to me. My phone number is personal phone number 716-512-5991. Once again, grab a pen. 716-512-5991. Please text me and tell me who you are, the context, and I'll get back to you. I have a spam blocker, so the phone calls won't come through. So good luck, God bless, and if there's anything I can do or See Me for Life can do, we love helping people optimize their journey. And one last thing I'll share is a couple years ago I did a PANRE review course, and it was in Orlando, and I had a guy get up, and we did testimonials, video testimonials. And as a matter of fact, if you go to our testimonials page, you'll see about 500 testimonials with a 4.9 out of 5 rating. Our course is very, very effective. But I had a guy get up and he said, I can't believe we got to recertify, and I'm a practicing professional, and I can't believe I got to do this, and the NCCPA is making us do this, and I can't believe they're doing it. And he was kind of angry, and hey, I don't blame him. Hey, do you. And then he paused and he goes, and that's what I felt like until I came to this course. And he goes, boy, I'm looking at medicine different. I'm learning things I never would have learned before. And I'm going to go back as a different PA because of this course. And then he said, okay, now I'm appreciative that the NCCPA is making me study stuff because things have changed. And I was like, come on, man, that's the right attitude. That's the deal. I mean, you have a choice on how you want to look at life. These boards can be a threat to you, or they could just be a challenge to you. They could be a challenge calling you to a better self. And our profession is better when we're smarter. Good luck. God bless.